Sandra has got news from around the world.
Well, first of all, we start the show with a tidbit of news making headline in the world of business. And top on the agenda tonight has something to do with the UK economy and what's happening. Well, the economy went up by 0.3% in May. Why is it so? It's because of the royal wedding. Let's take a look at the tidbit for today. Latest figures show that the UK's economy grew up by 0.3% in May, helped by the royal wedding and warm the weather. The latest assessment of the Office of the National Statistics, the ONS, marks the change in the way the UK's GDP is calculated. Now on, the ONS will release a monthly indicator and a rolling 3-month figure. Previously, it's only put up the growth by data every 3 months. In the 3 months to May, the economy grew up by 0.2% compared with the previous 3 months period. Leave as a result of the business slowdown, and Saudi Arabia's expatriate workers are leaving the kingdom by the thousands, and reports say the exodus may not yet be over. Welcome back, and we do sincerely apologize for the hiccup there, but Dar will continue with the rest of the stories.
Thanks, Sandra. Well, we turn to one of the stories running this evening. The new owner of ECG, Morocco, is expected to formally take over ECG from next year. That's if it's able to secure the necessary parliamentary approval before Parliament rises this month. Now, Energy Minister Boacheja could disclose this at a press briefing in Accra today. He has, however, justified the decision to bring in a strategic investor to turn around the fortunes of ECG.
We have this afternoon had the opportunity to lay before the House of Parliament a memorandum for the ratification of the concession agreement between the government of Ghana and the consortium of investors led by the Manila Electric Company for the private sector participation in the Electricity Company of Ghana within the terms of the Second Millennium Challenge Compact. We've called you together this afternoon because we are of the absolute conviction that the good people of Ghana ought to be regularly briefed on such important decisions that affect the lives of our citizens. Cabinet has already given approval to this memorandum, and we await the gracious assent of Parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, after the successful conclusion of the first compact under President John Agyekum Kufuor, Ghana became the beneficiary of a second compact under the watch of President John Mahama. The Republic of Ghana and the United States of America, acting through the Millennium Challenge Corporation, entered into a Millennium Challenge Compact dated August 5th, 2014, which provides for a grant of up to $498 million to advance economic growth and reduce poverty in Ghana. The compact commits Ghana and the
And that was bits of the press conference that got underway today. We'll have more on this developing story in subsequent bulletin. Turning to other news now, industry players in the financial market are making a case for new capital avenues for local suppliers to clear their goods and complete procurement agreements. One of the challenges undermining the work of local suppliers has been the frustration associated with delayed payments along the supply chain of services. It is against this background that two financial groups, Lynch Capital and Koledo Group, are partnering to provide a niche service of invoice factoring and receivables financing. Charles Aite was at the launch and has come through with this report.
According to the managing director of Lynch Capital, Frederick Dodu, issues of finance continue to impede the growth of indigenous businesses and companies within the supply chain process in Ghana, despite government intervention in promoting industrialization and job creation.
Some few months ago, ladies and gentlemen, the management of Lynch Capital, having witnessed at first hand the frustrations of local suppliers during times of payment delays, resolved to provide a permanent solution. The traditional age-long method of bank loans and to a very limited extent invoice discounting has never helped.
On his part, the Minister for Business Development, Dr. Mohamed Awal, said the partnership further endorses Ghana's viable business climate. He says various government interventions, including the reduction in cost of credit, has gone a long way to improve investor confidence.
We are also trying to formalize the economy. That's we had the national ID card system. We had digital registration. We had paperless operations at the port. We will do all this to formalize the economy so that businesses can grow. So I want to urge Lynch and Koledo partnership that look at our flagship programs and provide some support for it. We want to industrialize our economy.
Invoice factoring is a financial transaction and a type of debtor finance in which a business sells its accounts receivable to a third party at a discount. A business will sometimes factor in its receivable assets to meet its present and immediate cash needs.
Coordinator of the Third World Network Africa, Dr. Yao Graham, has slammed government over the continuous ban on small-scale mining in the country. According to him, the unnecessary delay in lifting the ban on small-scale mining fuels suspicion that government has an interest in the decision. Now, in March 2017, government placed a ban on illegal mining, following a wave of media campaign on the menace. But Dr. Graham says that government is in a confused state on the exact date to lift the ban.
Government's clear confusion in government about the way forward on the ban on small-scale gold mining is very worrying. We in Third World Network Africa always insisted that the ban was misguided in the first place, insofar as it included artisanal, legal, small-scale miners. People's businesses have been destroyed, and there seems to be no remedy or even sensitivity to this effect on these people. And it's important for the government to end what we sense is the incoherence in government about the way forward. Is it a problem of which ministry is leading the thing going on? There are rumors that there's disagreement within government about the way forward. There are rumors about some other agencies not being in agreement. But what is important really in our views, and when you look at the different pronouncements, for example, the report that the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources said until all the rivers were portable, the ban should not be lifted. It's a completely bizarre position. And we really think that this lifting of this ban is long overdue, and this is the opinion of even some of the key agencies in the sector, because they dare not come public to say it. And the cost of a policy which was not clearly thought through when it was initiated. I think it's about time, we cut the losses that honest business people are taking because of, this policy.
How about those who also feel that let's clearly see all the interventions that will prevent illegal mining, which will go into destroying our water bodies and all these things in place before we lift this ban?
Legal small-scale miners have nothing to do with this business, because the conflation of legal small-scale miners with illegal miners is a problem. I've always said that the Ghana government will not dare do this to the large-scale miners. Are there negative environmental externalities from large-scale mining, plenty. When the accident happened at the Newmont mine and some people died, the government simply imposed a fine and allowed them to carry on. Did they close all the mines to say that let us be sure that we will never ever, have an accident in the mine before we allow this thing to continue? So it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. The conflation of legal and illegal without any analysis of what is going on is a problem. You've given people license. You have regulatory agencies who are supposed to inspect and make sure that each person given a license is complying. Are we going to stop all people driving on the road because a few people are not driving properly? Crazy. Or some people don't have licenses.
Dr. Graham, speaking extensively to Joy Business Assistant Editor Northern Aqua Hayford. Let's turn to the ports now. The company handling the Tema Port expansion project, Meridian Port Services, says the first phase of the project would be open to business from June 29 next year. The project, which began in 2016, is expected to help expand the capacity of the port to handle huge vessels and containers. This should also help improve cargo handling services at the Tema Port. Chief Executive of Meridian Port Services, Mohamed Samara, tells Joy Business when completed, the project should help reduce the cost of doing business at the port.
28th of June 2019, we will open the first 2 berths out of 3 on phase 1. Phase 1 made up of 3 vessel berths, and we will complete phase 1, I would say, by the middle of the first half of 2020. So by April to June 2020, first phase will be complete. But we will start to be operational from June. I would say immediately after we will. The next phase, you see, now here you're entering into a capacity that you don't have volume for it. So the next phase will be, of course, prompted with volume and market growth. All depends on how the market will respond to this added capacity, because we're putting the capacity in the market, and in the market for transshipment, for hubbing, et cetera, et cetera. So how would the shipping line respond to having such a facility, which I think is going to be very positive to the shipping lines because it's going to bring down cost considerably. According to the Cubis, the industry experts, this port will reduce freight by close to 228,000 from a freight in the range of 1,000 to 1,400. The reduction will be in the range of 2,028, is it, or something like that? So if we are reducing freight, of course, to the benefit of Ghana, we're going to make cost of doing business inside the port much lower to the shipping line. And this is going to entice them to bring more transshipment traffic into Ghana. Ghana, and Tema Port in particular, is the largest single port in West Africa. We're bigger from Nouakchott all the way to almost Cape Town. We are the largest in terms of size, number of TEUs handled. Nigeria is a much bigger country and a much bigger import and export base than us.
You're watching Business Live. Let's turn to food matters now. I don't know the last time you went to the market, Sandy, but it appears depending on where you are buying your food stuff from, the price may be up or down.
Exactly, that's the situation.
Tell us the story.
So we move on, and Majority Leader of Parliament, Oseiche Mensah-Bonsu, has stated that prices of foodstuff have remarkably gone down despite increase in fuel prices. The Majority Leader says ideally the job of government is to improve the standard of living of the people, and in his view, the government is doing just fine. Meanwhile, agri data collected and communication firm Isoko Ghana earlier predicted prices of foodstuff will increase this month. Out of the 12 commodities surveyed in June, 8 recorded increase in prices, while the price of 4 dropped. For last month, yam, which is puna, recorded the highest gain of 14%. A sack of commodity is now selling at 692 cedis from 607 cedis. That was selling in May. Maize, local rice and cowpea followed with increase in price ranging between 3 and 7%. 100 kg bag each of maize and rice went up from 155 to 166 cedis, and from 332 to 347 cedis respectively. In addition, a 109 kilogram bag of cowpea increased from 366 to 379 cedis between May and June. The prices of shelled granules and millet also increased to 398 and 254 cedis respectively. On commodities whose prices dropped, tomatoes recorded the highest drop of 28.16%. So you're likely to buy a 27 kilogram crate of commodity of 316 cedis. Similarly, a 68 kilogram of curry could also be sold to you at 195 Ghana cedis, with 91 kilogram of bag of fresh tuber of cassava also going for 71 Ghana cedis. So that's what is on the market. But meanwhile, my colleague John Fafali Kofi went to the Malamata market to gauge the real market prices of some foodstuff. He's engaged some of the market women. Let's take a report.
Rice and maize has shot up, whilst tomatoes has gone down. We're here at the Malamata market to find out if this is truly the reflection on the ground.
Local rice in there, price in it, normal. He said the way I turn na 2 cedi 50 pesos. Na export na no boy di. Omatumpa, enemy koye mantumianto. Price na kosroa, ankan local rice here, how rice in the ankano. Price near sir. Na the omudi bano ena price no akosropa. Na the anka say the sanity.
The last month no na nsuo no en start wo nti na bo na eye kakra. Be say nsuo no to e wo Kumase. Ena ebi free Kumase, ena ebi so free Abidjan. Domain nkro ne echiri. By say ne say na nsuo no ito ni nti na amani amano. Omo nya no se na so omo nya no e na bebre su sei, especially omo de no etale mo no ensuo ni gira ho a chese na asai no nti se na so nya no na onya ne sa nti ese omo de opopo so na omo de omo nya kakra e de benti esa na ema price no e raise kosoro kakra ma ye
e bla khoshi e bla ba shi ho mi oni mi duma na kamala jinemiu no ya shi akaka oto shi agbo ba problem fia ba ro fia ko e bla ba 3 million na 3 million aro 3.2 na 3.2 fuda na mi ha mi wale tutu mi o double akpo peni gara kala ji amaga nyomu vo hu da ke ga mo problem bo to won shi ko so ndi ndi amaro shi ha ni madra na ko agbaji mala ko agbaji ku mala.
Market women always have a different opinion when it comes to food prices, and what is collected on the field is always different.
Well, all that means for me is that I have to increase the...
Do you go to the market anyway?
I don't. I just provide the money.
Okay, so let's take the interview of the day. And former MD of Zenith Bank and ADB Banks, Daniel Siedu, says the banking sector is very responsive to issues pertaining to non-performing loans. Despite move by the central bank to sanitize the banking sector, the industry's asset quality remains a source of concern as non-performing loans ratio remain high. The bank sector report has revealed, reacting to this report, Daniel Isiedu said disciplined banks makes it a point to deal with the matter very cautiously.
Well, certainly MPS generally do have impact on the cost of credit and the industry as a whole, from my perspective as a banker. That's because, first of all, when the MPLs are rising, the tendency is that banks will withhold credit. But you also agree with me that over the years, banks have done well to bring the MPLs down, and that's because of the various structures that have been instituted by banks, and also the support that has been provided by the regulator. And so I think the industry has done well generally, although there's still room for improvement.
You have been a sector for quite a while, and of course you have been there issues related to the city. People have been blaming the black market on the recent development that we're experiencing currently. Do you share in this argument?
Well, I mean, when issues happen, generally people will ascribe blame or try to push blames, but I believe that we all have parts to play.
All right, that's it for our program tonight. Thanks for watching. My name is Daryl Kwal.
My name is Sandra Isinamapeno. Do join us tomorrow for more on Business Live.